So today I want to show you something really cool. Lately I've been obsessed with making these kind of like moon patterns. It's because they're all like swirly and sort of like intricate and really beautiful. So I really want to show you how I made these exactly, so you know the exact process and what you have to do and what you have to use and things like that. So first of all, here is all the different products that I used. I have one box of 5 of the ceramics. So these are going to obviously make it really hard and tough and like a glass sort of effect. Then I've got a box of the Fantasy Moon. Now these are really just pretty shimmery sort of patterns and just sort of like, yeah, just shimmery pearlescent kind of feel. And I've got a box of the V-Trail, which is sort of like the base coat which I usually use. I usually go for the ceramic or the V-Trail for the base. And then a box of the Fantasy Prism, and these sort of give like a honeycomb effect, you know, like all like little tiny bubbles reacting. I'll probably show you like a little close-up now of what that actually does, because obviously it's hard to imagine. So yeah, I've got a box of those, and it's important to keep them all sort of like in the same box, just so you know exactly what each one does. I've also got a pop art canvas pad, which is made by Pebeo paint, that is. This is an okay canvas pad, but as you can see you can't actually just like rip the pages out, so you have to cut them, which is a bit unusual and strange, because for me in the past when I've bought them before, they have like a perforated edge that you can sort of rip or cut off, but yeah, these ones, it is no biggie. I usually cut it off before I do the art, just to make sure that like I'm not going to rip it off or anything like that. So yeah, this is just canvas paper that we're going to be using. Canvas paper, and you've got to make sure it's primed, because these are oil based, so if it's not primed it will sink through. But you can usually buy them primed. I mean, this one says on the front for acrylic, oil, gouache and mixed media, so it's going to be primed. Okay, so the next thing that you're going to need is something to put the paint on. So I use these little pipettes. Obviously they're just coloured because I've got paint all inside them, but they come see-through. And you can just get these off the internet. I just typed in online and got some off eBay. Really, really cheap online. These are some wooden like popsicle sticks, or like stirring sticks, maybe for like when you get a drink with coffee. So you can always just go to your local coffee shop, and if you spend enough money there, just take a few home, it's fine. I'm sure they won't mind. The pipettes are really good for adding quite a lot of paint in one go, whereas these are more for like dribbling effects and just very small bits of paint, so you can sort of control it a little bit better. Okay, so another product that I'm going to use, and this is mainly just for sort of like bordering the edges, because this is really, really runny paint and it will just like seethe over the edge of the paper, unless you sort of like, you know, have a large area of paper. But obviously that isn't sort of going to be the best shape that you can get. So I'm using this modelling paste, also by Pebeo paint, just to sort of like make a ridge to stop it from overflowing. I mean, last time I used this, I didn't have to wait for it to dry. I just put these straight on and it didn't overflow the edge, because it holds peaks really, really well, this does. Obviously because it's modelling paste. But this time I might just let it dry, just because it feels like a little bit safer for this video. So yeah, this is modelling paste, again by Pebeo Paints, and because I want to do a moon, I'm going to use something circular. You don't want to use like your best bowl, your mum's best bowl, anything like that. So I'm just going to use some tape. This is just like masking tape, so I'm going to put it on the paper, and then I'm going to put the modelling paste all around the edge, and then I can just, you know, just take one layer of the paper off, the masking tape, and then it will be just like brand new again. So this is what I'm going to use to make my circular shape, as in for the moon. So just one more thing that you might need, I don't know if it's fairly explanatory, but just like a paper towel or some tissue or something like that, just because when these have got paint dribbling off, it's really good just to like dab it and wipe them off, because otherwise you don't want to get it on your table and stuff like that. Okay guys, tips before we start. Don't wear your best clothes, because these are oil paints, so it's going to get stuck on your clothes. It's probably never going to come out, because unfortunately oil paint doesn't come out of the wash. I know, because I've tried it. Also, just a point to remember is obviously again, because they're oil paints, they absolutely reek. So make sure if you are doing it inside, crack a window open just to really like ventilate the area, because you will get probably a nasty headache if you're just breathing in all the fumes, and it is really bad for your health. So again, just crack a window open, or if it's a nice day, do it outside. Let's get started!